How you doing, guys? Big Mac Dance School here again today. Back again with a hobby hangout for you. Hopefully, we've got a miracle. I think the miracle is, why is it showing all that rubbish behind me? There we go. Right, the miracle is, I've not dropped any frames. I seem to be going nice and smoothly. And hopefully some of you are still around to join me. We've got a comment. Hey, Kev, thanks very much. That video does seem to work to treat now. Watch this magical thing I'm about to do. I don't know if it'll work. I look better too. What do you mean I look better? Do you think you mean without the beard, or do you mean just after all the fandangling? Here's a magic trick for you. It's a Kit Kat Chunky duo. Didn't work. That's a really disappointing magic trick, isn't it? Oh, I've done that before with a bar. I think it was a Snickers bar or something. Actually, it's opened it at that end. I've done that before with a bar and it sort of just split the packet and it was magical. But hey, I'm having some chocolate to cheer myself up after that stressful time. But Kev, thanks very much for your help in sending me that video. It appears to have worked. Thank Josh from the Pickle Jar who showed it to you. Thank you, Josh from the Pickle Jar. I don't think he's ever tuned into one of my streams before, but if he turns up, thank you. Excuse me, I'm coughing. I've got a comment on the previous attempt at this live stream that I did from Modelling for Advantage. I'll just read that quickly. Oh, 3 watching now, excellent stuff. It's not just me and thee though. All jokes aside, love the new look. You just got 10 years younger. I did. Well, I'd say about 50 years younger if you ask certain people. When I was 16 or 15, turn of the millennium, a girl the same age as me who was a friend of a cousin, she was fit as well. She said when prompted to guess my age, she said 34. So that put a good 18 years on me back then. 18/19 years on me back then. So, oh no, I was about to turn 15. Yeah, turn of the millennium, I would have been about to turn 15. So I was 14, so she put a good 20 years on me back then. And that's always been with me. Staying looking about a good 20 years older than I actually am. I'm not too bothered really. It's never really bothered me. I've been able, if I wanted to, when I was younger, from probably about the age of 12, I could have got into clubs and got served for alcohol and stuff like that. Because I've had a beard since the age, I've been able to grow a beard since the age of about 12. I didn't always have one. But now, I'm an adult, I can do what I want, and I can eat chocolate on a live stream. It's a Kit Kat Chunky. Everyone likes a Kit Kat Chunky, right? Chunkly? I invented a new chocolate bar. It's going to be gone in a second. Eradicate that disastrous pair of live streams that I've just tried to do from your mind and from your memory. And join me on this journey as I build some more Space Marines. I was going to Alpha Hench is back, excellent stuff. I was going to, if you've tuned into either of the previous streams, I was going to try and do a bit of painting of Gazgul, as I said on those previous streams. However, the thing is, I'm not feeling painting at the minute. I'm just sort of getting back into my hobby flow. So what I like to do when I've had a bit of a lull in hobby, I just like to do what catches my attention, what captures my imagination. Then it gets me back into the hobby flow and enables me to just get back into it properly and go from there, go from strength to strength. That's the idea with me. That's the idea. I think it seems to work for me anyway. We've got Jam Jar in the chat. How you doing, mate? He's got his 3 Brontosauruses, as we regularly see in various streams. There's 3 dinos on the go. I love a Kit Kat chunky. Right. Do you want to see the desk? There's not a lot going on in it at the minute. But even though everyone's been working on the frame rate eradicated my eyes. Excellent stuff. Dino Master. Everyone's been showing Indomitus box sprues and stuff like that. I'm not doing an unboxing or anything like that. I ordered the Space Marines off eBay. I'll tell you, I paid 82 quid for them. I was in a bit of a funk, and there was this one lot on eBay that I'd been watching, and it was coming up for end of the thing, so I got a bid in the last 2 seconds. It was at 80 quid, had one bid. I paid 82. I could have, if I was more patient and picked up the things separately and stuff, I could have probably got it for a little bit cheaper, for as little as like 65 quid, something like that, but I just had the urge to buy it at the time, so I bought it, and it's going to be cheaper than buying some of the new start collecting sets that are coming out, because the prices I've seen on them, as I was saying on one of these previous streams, the prices I've seen on them I'm not too happy with, if I'm honest. You've got the... Tell you what, let's go over to the Games Workshop website and I'll share my thoughts on it before we do any little bit of hobby. So let's go community website. warhammercommunity.com. I think it was Chapter Master Valrak did a video on them. Oh, one thing I want to say as well, the new Blood Bowl miniatures look fantastic. I'm not into Blood Bowl. I tried playing the game once. I had a demo game in store. If I'm going to play a sports game, I want it to be a sports game. I don't want it to be a war game disguised as a sports game, which is essentially, for me, what Blood Bowl is. You're just fighting each other. It's just that. If I'm going to play a sports game, tabletop sports game, I want it to feel like a sports game. Like, you can fight each other, but there should be some element of, which I didn't get in the demo game. Maybe there is some element of it in the full game, but there should be some downside to you fighting your opponent rather than just try to outscore your opponent. The main aim of the game should be to outscore your opponent, but it just seemed like in the demo game I played, I was just fighting my opponent. And anyway, yeah, the new Blood Bowl miniatures look nice. Edward Gonzalez commented 18 seconds. That must be on one of my previous previous live stream attempts, maybe. Yeah, it is, yeah. Let's see what he's commented, shall we? Dating dash girls online. I think that might be spam. I'm not sure. I'll remove that. $30 in, Lewis commented, Thomas Lewis rather. I think I might be getting spammed a lot at the minute. Let's find out. On these previous live streams that I've attempted. Private dash chat. Oh, cheeky. Right, let's remove that. Yeah, I'm getting spammed by weird things on my previous 2 live streams. Right. Anyone new joining us in the chat? We've got the Hobby Corner, we've got Alpha Hench, we've got Jamjar34. Welcome, gentlemen. 4 viewers, one of them's probably me. I don't know. Right, on to my thoughts on these Start Warhammer 40,000 Your Way boxes. Let's click on that. Let's do the screen share. Well, hey, screen share. So, the Warhammer 40,000 starter sets. I watched a Chapter Master Valrak video, and he shared what he'd heard the prices were going to be. So this one, which is the equivalent of the First Strike box, which is £25 from Games Workshop, this one supposedly is going to be £32.50. The next one up from it, in that you get a Primaris Lieutenant. I say Lieutenant, you say Lieutenant. Let's call the whole thing off. You get Primaris Lieutenant, 5 Assault Intercessors, that is the same number of miniatures that you got for the Space Marines in the first Strike set. In the Necron side of things, you get the Royal Warden, 3 Scarab Swarms, and 10 Necron Warriors. That is, how many? You got 9 miniatures in the Death Guard side of the first Strike set. So that's more miniatures than you got altogether in the first Strike set. So £32 and a bit of terrain there as well, the cardboard terrain. It's the box, I think, and you just flip it over and place it on your gaming mat. That seems reasonable, £32 for someone starting in the hobby, especially if you want Necrons or especially if you want Space Marines. You get a Space Marine decal sheet as well. The Recruit Edition includes a gaming manual to help you learn the basics of the game. In it, you'll find detailed description of the Grimdark setting of Warhammer 40,000, as well as an overview of the Space Marines and Necrons pitted against one another in the set. Does it say whether you get a cardboard gaming mat or if it is just a paper gaming mat? It looks to me like it's probably a paper gaming mat, but can't quite tell. No, Mr. Big Mac, this is a Gork and Mork friendly server. So that's the Recruit Edition. The background section is followed by a handy stage-by-stage guide to help you assemble your push-fit miniatures with no glue required. You'll have your models together in no time. Great stuff. With the miniatures assembled, you'll be ready for battle. The Recruit Manual goes on to teach you the key elements of Warhammer 40,000 game itself. Over the course of 6 missions, you don't need any prior knowledge of the game to play through these missions. Each has been specifically designed to teach you the basics in a fun, challenging and exciting way. In a similar way to the Conquest magazine did, I imagine. Jamjar saying how much? I think that is £32, £32.50 according to Chapter Master Balrak anyway. After playing through 6 missions, you're friendly with your friend or family member. You can even try swapping sides if you see if you can do better while reinforcing what you've learned. Once you're confident of your mastery of the basics, the Recruit Manual goes on to suggest some additional units with which to expand your Space Marines and Necron forces in the set, and even provide you with the data sheets and a new mission to play once you're done. So it doesn't actually say whether it's a cardboard gaming mat or if it's a paper gaming mat, that one. Then you've got the Elite Edition, in which you get 5 more Assault Marines, a Captain, and 3 Biker guys. So this is essentially another part of the Indomitus set. And in the Necron side of it, you get 3 Scorpek Destroyers, I want to call them. I don't know if they are. A Scorpek Lord, is that? I mean, I should just go down and have a look, really. So you get an Overlord, 10 Necron Warriors, 3 Scarab Swarms, 3 Scorpek Destroyers, and a Plasma... Oh, there's a Plasma Scythe in there, or Plasma Sight in there as well. I didn't see that miniature. Ah, it's there, just behind the Scorpek Destroyers. So this one I think is supposed to be £65, which to me it seems like a big leap. That it's £15 more expensive than the current No Fear set, which is like the same level as this one. In the No Fear set, I don't know exactly what you got, so I can't tell you miniature for miniature basis if it's as good value or not quite as good value. It's a paper playing mat in this one, and in the previous one it does say paper playing mat. Let's scroll up. Yeah, paper playing mat, it says it there, just behind my head. That's useful for you, isn't it? Let's scroll up. Paper playing mat, it says it there, just below where my head is on the screen. Plasma Sight is on the same sprue as the Destroyers. Cool. I'm overall happy with these prices. It's good if people are happy with the prices, then it's fantastic, because you're going to be going out and buying it, aren't you? I didn't want the Indomitus set myself because there's just so many Necron models in there that I think I wouldn't use. I wouldn't get round to using. If I'm going to get Necron models, I just want a small selection of Necron models like this, so I can build a kill team with them, and I can have a Necron kill team. I'm never going to have a complete Necron army. So a small selection of Necron models like this is great. And going into after the Elite Edition, which is essentially very similar to the Command Edition, when we get to the Command Edition, you'll see that it's all the same miniatures, just you get terrain in there as well. So same miniatures like I said, 30 by 22.4 inch playing mat, paper playing mat. You get 2 range rulers, 10 dice, which is good. 172 page Warhammer 40k Elite Manual, reference sheet, Archeo Vault cardboard terrain piece, so it's a bigger cardboard terrain piece than the previous one. And you get a big decal transfer sheet. One issue I have with this is it's got so many chapters left out of it. Like there's no Imperial Fists on there. As someone who paints his Marines as Imperial Fists, I feel a bit left out by that. But they can't please everybody. I understand that. I think it'd be nice if in Games Workshop stores something like this happened, where you buy this set and instead of having that transfer sheet, what they do is they say how are you going to paint your models, and if they could just give you an appropriate transfer sheet. So if you're going to paint them as Imperial Fist, they give you that transfer sheet. If you're going to paint them as a successor chapter to one of the first founding chapters, then they give you a transfer sheet that you might want to use. So if it's going to be a successor to the Ultramarines, you might want to take an Ultramarines transfer sheet, or it'd be a good way of, I don't know, I think it'd be tricky to do that, logistically speaking, because you'd probably run out of some quicker than you'd run out of others. But just a nice little bit of a difference there. These models are fantastic looking, by the way. I know I saw someone complain about them on the Necron ones in particular on, I think it was Edic Day Unification Group, about how fiddly they were to get together. In my experience of putting the Nighthaunt models together in Age of Sigmar, I thought I was going to really struggle with them. I loved them. They went together so easily for me, all the Nighthaunt models that I've put together so far. They're the push fit ones as well. But the push fit Stormcasts, I didn't enjoy putting together at all. I thought they'd been horrendous. However, I put together some of the Marine miniatures, these push fit Marines, and they've gone together like a dream for me so far. I think I've had to clip a couple of plugs, but that's it. Happy is probably a bit stronger, I think, and more on the line of okay. Makes sense. And then this is the Command Edition, which is essentially the same as the Elite Edition. I think, so like I said, I think the Elite Edition is £65. The Command Edition is coming in, according to Chapter Master Valrak, at £105. I think that's a bit pricey, personally. Pardon me. However, one thing I'll say is, I love terrain. You get terrain in this starter set. That's fantastic. I'll buy this one, personally, because not only do you get terrain, but you get a rulebook as well. Now, it's not the same size, I don't think, as the rulebook you get in Indomitus. I think that's a 200 odd page or 300 odd page rulebook, but I don't know what extra you get in that Indomitus rulebook that you're not getting in this rulebook, because I think this rulebook is 170 odd pages. Let's have a look. 184 page rulebook. So you're getting a 184 page rulebook. So it's like half the size of the one that you got in Indomitus. I'm hoping it's just background and lore that is missing from this one. So it's just a rulebook. Because I've not got the rulebook yet. I'm happy to get a rulebook in this, and I'm hoping it's just background and lore that you're not getting in this particular rulebook. So far, I've put all the Marines and some of the Necrons together, and not a single issue. Didn't even have to clip the pins. Excellent stuff. Like I said, I've just clipped, I think, one pin on one of the Marines. I put together 8, including this Eradicator, put together 8 of the Marines so far, and I've had to clip one pin. Because I ordered off eBay, some of the pins came a bit damaged, but I've just glued them together in place on the bikes in particular, because they're particularly long pins, so in shipping they've just got snapped basically, almost, just hanging on by a thread kind of thing, so I've had to glue them, and I'm letting them dry before I go back to them to work on them. I've forgotten how to speak or what I wanted to say. So you get one 30-inch by 22.4-inch double-sided fold-out gaming board. So you're getting basically a kill team, a kill zone, which is good for me because I play a fair bit of kill team, and this is the smallest size board they recommend for games of this sort of size and this sort of scale. So I can either play now with this gaming board, either kill team, with a nice new bit of terrain that you get. It's the Imperial buildings and these pipes, these new pipes, and this new bit of a thermo exchanger shrine. So it's nice new terrain for me. But £105 I think is a bit steep for a starter set. I think £95 would have been much better, but it's only a £10 increase, I think, on their previous starter sets. Let's have a look here. Go to the Games Workshop website and look at the comparative Age of Sigmar starter sets. Oh, Kev's not even used glue. Excellent stuff. I've used bits of glue here and there just to basically seal the joins on certain marines. I've not used a lot of glue. I'll say that for sure. Let's get the other part of my Kit Kat duo now, shall we? Age of Sigmar, start here. So the Age of Sigmar starter sets, in comparison, £95 for the Age of Sigmar starter set, and you get a lot of miniatures in that, don't you? I know they're only Spindly Nighthawk miniatures, but we're getting Spindly Necron miniatures, aren't we? Let's click on that and see how many we get in there. So yeah, they've still managed £25. Oh, actually, it was £25 and £75 out. I'll go. Tell you what, before we do this, I'll go back out and I'll just double check what the variation in prices in these sets. Right, so we have Stormstrike. Okay, I get you. Right, so we've got Tempest of Souls, Stormstrike, and Soul Wars. So Soul Wars is the main starter set. That's the expensive one. Stormstrike is the small one, the equivalent to First Strike in the previous edition of Warhammer 40,000. And Tempest of Souls is the £50 version, equivalent of No Fear in the previous edition of Warhammer 40,000. Now, miniature-wise, it looks like you're getting more miniatures in each of these sets. So I feel like Warhammer 40,000 players are being a bit hard done by. Lots of dinos in the chat there. Yeah, so I feel like Warhammer 40k players are being a bit hard done by. However, we've not seen terrain in a starter set for a while. So does that bump up the price a little bit? It's only the top set is only £10 more expensive than the top Age of Sigmar starter set. So you're winning and you're losing some things. The other two sets, one is I think £16 more expensive or £15 more expensive, and the other is £7.50 more expensive. So you're winning some, you're losing some, really. It is what it is at the end of the day. And I can say all these cliched things, and it's, you know, you're going to have whatever opinion on it you're going to have. I like that you're getting the rule book, because essentially the rule book is, let's go to thingy actually, Warhammer 40k. I think the rule book's 40 quid, isn't it? And let's see how many pages it is. New releases, core book. Yes, so it's 368 pages. So it's twice the length almost of the one we're going to be getting in this. I think. I'm hoping. Basically, all you're missing out of this book is the lore. In the book that you're getting in the Command Edition of the game. I'm hoping it's just the lore that we're missing. The decal sheet, again, I don't think that needed to be included personally. Some people will be happy to have that to make your Marines look more Space Wolfy, more Blood Angel-y, Dark Angel-y, or Ultramarine-y, but there's no Imperial Fist one, there's no Salamander one, there's no White Scar one. For me, it doesn't need to be included. If you're not including it for all, why include it for any? I can understand totally the tactical markings and stuff like that, and the command markings and that kind of thing, but I don't get why we're having certain chapter markings. They can't include them all, so why include any? That's just the way I see it. But it does make it means you don't have to try and paint that when you're a new player, when you're new to the game. But if you're a brand new player to the game and you're really going to be getting the Command Edition, maybe not. You know, it depends how you view purchases like this. I have the Death Guard army from Conquest. I had an idea to convert the Carnosaur from Age of Sigmar into a unique Beast of Nurgle. Excellent stuff. It'd be an interesting conversion to see, I think. But yeah. These sets, people are going to buy them or they're not going to buy them. I'll be buying the Command one. I just wish... I don't know what I wish, really. I think I just wish you got a few more, at least one more unit on the Space Marine side and at least one more unit on the Necron side probably. And then £105 wouldn't seem as bad. But you're getting some nice terrain in there, and it's a nice kill zone, that, like I said, for kill team. It's a full board, isn't it, really? It's a full kill zone, and I can't really complain about that. And you get in the rulebook, which is one of the main things for me. So the rulebook, £40. Let's say this rulebook will be £25, assuming it's just the rules and no lore in there. You're getting some lore in this command book here, no doubt. Another data sheets. And then let's put a price on the miniatures, shall we? So a Primaris captain will be £22.50, maybe £25, plus the rule book. So that's like 50 quid already. A squad of 5 easy to build assault intercessors. I say you're looking at least £15, probably £20 there. So that's £70 already. These 3 bikes, easy to build, £15, £20, that's £90 already. The board, to buy that at the minute from Games Workshop, is £30, so that's £120 already. And then you're looking at the Necron side as well. The Necron side, let's say 20 quid for the Warriors, 20 quid for the Lord, so that's another 40 quid. I don't even know what I'm on now. I think I'm on 120 quid, so 160 quid. The Scout Swarms come in with the Warriors, and then another 20 quid, another 30 quid, let's say. So you're going to be saving money from buying all those things separately. But it just seemed a little bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And then there's the terrain on top of that. You're still going to be making a heck of a lot of saving. Let's get some hobby done. Right. This, as the title suggests, was supposed to be a hobby hangout. Now I've eaten my Kit Kat, Chunky. I wish Halo Ground War was still around. I hope GW picks up the game. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not a massive computer game player, so I've never had a massive affinity with the Halo franchise. The last console I had was a Nintendo Wii. No, not Wii. Was it a Wii U? Maybe it was a Wii U. So I've not got a Switch, but I got the one before the Switch. Basically, I'm not a massive game player in terms of computer games, but I am into like party games and stuff like that. So the Wii U was a good console for me. I think it was called the Wii U, wasn't it? I've not dropped any frames. It's a miracle. After those 2 disastrous previous streams, the fact that I've not dropped any frames on this is an absolute miracle. Face focus. Way. Turn you down to my desk, shall we? You can look at my crotch for a bit. Right, so having bought this off eBay, I've not got any instructions, so I've had to get the instructions off of Google. Nope, they're not in there actually. I've just remembered. They're in my photos. So I've just downloaded the instructions from Google to see what components I need. Look at that. Naughty instructions and a big crack in my screen. So we need G47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. G47 to G53. Clippers. This is his. Tabletop Banter joining us in the chat. Welcome, mate. Good to see you back on the YouTube train. Thordalim de Kaladai as well. Necron Kill Team models. Afternoon. Where the bearded one. Yeah, the beard I cut off because, I've said it a few times now, I'm happy to say it again. Why would I ever get stressed out about telling people about the beard? I shaved the beard off because of the not lockdown restrictions, but the COVID restrictions in the UK. We have to wear masks into shops now, and the masks were being pushed up by the beard into my eyes. So I decided to shave the beard off. and it makes it easier for me to get around the shops and being able to see what I can do. Just a heads up, there's 3 ways of building the unit sergeant. Nice. The Eradicator sergeant is that, I assume, seeing as though I am currently building them. I want to build I've seen he's got a bare head with a rebreather. I want to build it that way, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. I thought at first that was a head off the chaplain. The one model I'm not a huge fan of from this set is the Judicia, or the Judicia. I'm not a huge fan of that model. I don't like the face covering he's got. Maybe it's just because it's too reminiscent of our current situation in the real world that I'm not that drawn to that model. But I think it's just the egghead he's got as well. Yeah, he's got a head like mine. He's got like a face covering there, and it's like just a egghead. I know it's not his actual head; it's a helmet, but I just feel like it's the Assault Intercessors. Oh yeah, I've seen that one. I've built a squad of Assault Intercessors already. Yeah, so I am well aware of that one already. I'm all wonky at the minute, aren't I? Wow. Let's go back to the desk, shall we? Or no, let's stay on my face until I locate these pieces that I want. Yeah, so the Assault Intercessor, I've already built a squad of them, so I'm well versed. Or I'm even wonkier now the other way. Well versed in what pieces did I just take out? 47, 48. So I need 49, which I think is a backpack. Yeah, correct. I've been watching. The reason I've not been streaming while I've been building these Assault Intercessors, and a couple of the other models, the Lieutenant I built as well. 50. Is because I've been watching a lot of Star Trek still. I started it before lockdown. I started watching the original series from the beginning, worked my way through that, went on to Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, now I'm on Voyager and the last 2 seasons of Deep Space Nine. And then I'm going to watch Picard eventually. I've not seen Picard yet, but I've been trying to watch everything else before I watch Picard. 50, so I need 51 and 52. Yes, that's the reason I've not been streaming while I've been building these Assault Intercessors. I'm on season 4 of Voyager now, which is when 7 and 9 comes into it, and it really seems to kick on from that point and become the show I remember from my youth. Where before with Kess, the show sort of was still finding its feet, and I think it would have been interesting had Kess stayed in it. In some form or another, whether she... Spoiler alert here, by the way. If you've not seen Star Trek Voyager, you may want to mute your... or you just go away from my channel. Kess sort of ascended, evolved into another form of life. And she left Voyager as a result of that, and she sent the crew closer to home, 10,000 light years closer to home or something like that. And then 7 and 9 comes into it, and she takes over the role of the sort of attractive one on the show. What have I just taken off there? 52. Is that everything? I've got a body, a torso. No, I need another arm, don't I? There should be an arm somewhere. 52, so it should be a 53 arm. I've got it upside down. A little devil. I feel like I'm missing an arm anyway. There's 53. It's completely nowhere near any of the other close by numbers. Yeah, so I've been watching Voyager, and it seems to kick on from season 4, the start of season 4. It really kicks on and goes into the show I remember from my youth. There were elements of it being that kind of what I remember, but it didn't feel the same in the first few seasons. I thought I had a drop frame then, but I don't. It's a miracle that I've had no drop frames, I've got to say. Well, it's not a miracle. It's thanks to Kev over at the Hobby Corner. Make sure you check out his channel, like and subscribe to his channel, and like his videos. As a thank you for helping me get this stream up and running properly after 2 failed attempts at streaming. He sent me a link to a video which I've watched some of that guy's videos before. I think when I was getting back into live streaming and using Streamlabs for the first time, because before that I was using what's the other one called, on the recommendation of Craig from Kablams. I was using a different stream manager, and I was using it well, but then when I tried to get back into streaming, either I'd completely forgotten how to use it or whatever. But yeah, I couldn't seem to get back to grips with it. So Kev just saying, "Oh, you babe." No worries, mate. No worries. I also picked up this morning when I went out to buy that chocolate bar and that sandwich I showed the packet of on the previous unsuccessful stream. I also picked up the final issue of Mortal Realms that I'll be looking at on my channel. Issue 24. And if you want to see some continued Mortal Realms coverage, make sure you do subscribe to Kev, because XSplit is the one. Thank you very much, Tabletop Answer. I thought you would have known. I completely lost my train of thought. Yes, make sure if you're looking for Mortal Realms coverage, there's a few channels you can check out. Check out Kev, the Hobby Corner. Check out Sponge Murphy. He reviews every issue, but really rapid fire. It's amazing though, because he seems to get, in my mind at least, seems to get the same amount of detail in there that I do, but he does it in 3 minutes, whereas it takes me about 10 minutes to say what's in the magazine. I am back modelling for Advantage. Indeed I am. I should have really shared this stream. It seems to be going much better, this one, than the previous two. I saw Dr. Kev at the Hobby Corner, and he diagnosed me with some lagging issues and other stuff. So he sent me a link to a video, and I watched that and sorted out my issues, and now I'm back, better than ever. Just changed a few settings on OBS. Is that supposed to be there? You know when you get a miniature and you're scraping away at it with a mold line remover or with a knife, whichever you prefer, and then you're like, oh, actually, are them indentations supposed to be there, and I'm just scraping them off? Well, I've just done that. Let's see, on the other leg. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I'm not the best painter anyway. Dr. Kev, does he do house calls? You'll have to speak to him. I mean, he's a very busy man, I'm sure. So he may do house calls if you pay him enough. He's a private doctor, he's not covered by the NHS. So, well, as far as I'm aware, he's not anyway. But yeah, it's worth speaking to him if you want a house call from Kev. See if he can. I'm sure he can do it for the right price. I've not got enough lights on here. I've got this light up here, which is the one that washes me out. Well, I'm going to put the main room light on now, because I can't quite see, because that light's just kind of pointing down at this sort of area, whereas I'm sat back here. So I'm going to put the main room light on to give me a better view of my actual mould lines. If the price is right, Kev says. The price is always right. Oh. Yeah, so the Hobby Corner for Mortal Realms content, Sponge Murphy, and Tabletop Donkeys as well. If you want to see the battle reports on a regular basis, Tabletop Donkeys cover the battle reports in the same way they did. You may remember that I've mentioned them before on my Conquest videos. So check out Tabletop Donkeys. Picked up the last issue that I'll be covering of Mortal Realms today, and I'll hopefully read that and get the video done on Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to the cinema. A miracle. I was a regular cinema goer prior to lockdown starting, but the cinemas have recently opened again in the UK, and Cineworld Cinema stayed closed for an extra couple of weeks because they wanted to make sure they had everything in place, and also they didn't have many films to show. They've still not got many films to show. Showing a lot of old films, but me and my sister are going tomorrow to see a couple of new films. One of them is Proxima, and I can't remember what the other one is. And we're also going for something to eat in a couple of local cafes. Well, one's called Lily's Bistro and Patisserie, and it's like they do cakes, but they do like brunches, they do breakfasts, they do lunches and dinners as well. And then we're going to another restaurant called Lily's, which is relatively local to me, which is like Indian cuisine. One's spelt with a double L, one's spelt with a single L. Not at the start, in the middle. So yeah, we're going to two separate restaurants called Lily's in my local area. Drop the shade on the rear window. May have to... let's lighten the camera. May have to have less light in the camera. I'm not too bothered about the light on the camera. I think I can see myself, so I'm thinking it's okay, although I've not looked on my actual feed here for a little while. Am I? No, it looks okay to me. But I'm more bothered about me being able to see the miniature. That's what I'm bothered about. But thanks for the heads up. I will keep an eye on that though, because I don't want to be washed out completely. So going to a couple of local restaurants tomorrow. The government in the UK are doing an Eat Out for Less scheme at the minute. Eat Out to Help Out scheme, I think it's called, where they give you basically the government pays 50% of your bill to try and encourage more people to go out and eat out. At the same time, they are having a crackdown on people being fat. So, because Boris Johnson, because he was fat and overweight and he got COVID-19, he's now determined to have a crackdown on... It's better that I don't talk about politics on this channel, probably. But he's determined to have a crackdown on the overweight in the UK and the obese. And it's probably well overdue, but it becomes... many people would say it becomes like a nanny state if they get to the stage where they're telling you what you can and can't eat. But yeah, so at the same time as they're trying to encourage people to go out and eat out in these restaurants and probably order more than they should in certain restaurants, if for example a company like Wetherspoons is doing the Eat Out to Help Out scheme, you get big portions at Wetherspoons and you'll just be encouraged to get bigger portions than you would normally get, because for the same price you can get twice as much. So it's like, you know, it's a balancing act for the government, isn't it? I'm sure. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking about politics and stuff now, and I'm going to just go silent. I've got a really itchy eye. I'm not winking at you. I bought a couple more. I bought the Orc book, the Orc Warhammer Adventures book, War of the Orcs. I don't think there's going to be that much from an Orcy perspective in there, but we get to see how they represent orcs to a book aimed at children. I'm interested in children's books. I've read all of the 40k Warhammer Adventures books. I think they're really, really good for someone who is just getting into reading. When I was young, I had no interest in reading whatsoever. I couldn't find anything that sparked my interest enough to get me to sit down and read a book cover to cover, 100 odd pages, 200 odd pages, whatever. I struggled to read a magazine when I was young. Like, even I was into football and I bought football magazines, but I'd just look at the pictures and I'd read the odd paragraph here and there. But I really struggled with reading when I was younger. But if these Warhammer Adventures books were around when I was younger, I think I'd be far more into... I'd have gotten into reading a lot younger than I did. They're the kind of books that you finish a chapter. The chapters are only like 12 pages long or something, and it's big text on each page, to make it as easy for you as possible, I think. But they're the kind of book that you finish a chapter and you just want to start the next chapter. And it, you know, with them only being 12 pages long, even I can read these books that are less than 200 pages long. I can read them in a day, and I have terrible concentration levels. Like Horus Heresy books, I'm amazed I've gotten up to book, I don't know, I'm still below book 20, I think, but I can read a lot better than I used to. But yeah, there was nothing that captured my imagination in the way I think these Warhammer Adventures books would have captured my imagination when I was a kid. When I first got into the hobby and I was into Eldar, I was reading short stories in the Eldar Codex, and I was excited by them. But there wasn't much coverage of Eldar in Black Library novels and stuff at the time. It was all Space Marine stuff. So it wasn't of great interest to me. Goldfish of Justice has just started streaming on Twitch. If you want to drop out here and go and check out Goldfish of Justice's stream. Everything in moderation, exactly, Kev. Doggy bag and have food for home if the portions are so big. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, I think. I'm scraping this off now and I'm thinking, I've already done this one, haven't I? Yeah, I've already done that one. There's these Eradicators, they come with two sides to the torso. They remind me, in some ways, of the Eldar Guardian kits, where you got two separate legs, a torso, a head, two separate arms, and the gun all in separate pieces. These remind me in many ways of those. But you can put these together, as Kev has already said. I'm just going to dry fit it together now, actually. You can put it together without any glue, just to show you that you can do. I've not scraped all the mould lines off, so I'm going to pull it apart afterwards. The helmets go in, the backpack goes on. Oh, that's a bit tight in here. Oh, cheeky devil. This part goes on the arm. Ooh, look at that. That torso feels a bit looser. I wonder what's going to lock that in place. I know, it's going to be the gun, isn't it? Yeah, so you can put these Eradicators together without any glue. That's gone together like a dream without any glue. There's no gaps in there, little to no gaps, I'd say. Let's try and get this focused. I'm not going to be one of those guys that goes, focus, focus. I'm not going to be one of those guys, because it really irritates me when someone just says focus in a video all the time. It does irritate me quite a bit. But yeah, that's just to show you that you can put these together really quickly once you've clipped them off the sprue and stuff without any glue. So these easy to build kits really are easy to build. I've just pulled the torso off there and nearly lost the head though. So watch out when you're doing that. If you do push them together, push Coneheads, mate. Eldar, yes. The Eldar Guardians were Coneheads, exactly. Remember the film Coneheads? Was it? Yeah, it was a film, wasn't it? Was it Dan Aykroyd in it? I can't remember. Let's go on IMDb and see if we can find Coneheads. It was a film, wasn't it? There was also a TV series, not called Coneheads, called Alien Nation, which reminded me in many ways, where I think they got drunk off milk in Alien Nation, didn't they? Oh, the things you remember when someone uses a phrase like Coneheads. Yeah, Coneheads was Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, and Jane Curtin's the one from Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, so Coneheads. I'll show you the poster. That was a poster for Coneheads. These aliens come down to Earth and they've got big pointy heads, but they are the exact shape of the old Eldar Guardian helmets. IMDb, best thing on the internet. It is one of, if not the best things on the internet. IMDb. Just when someone just says a particular thing and it just sets something off in your memory, you're like, oh, and then suddenly you've got to find it. Although unless you know what you're looking for, you can't always find it unless you know, say, someone who was in it. Like, I had so much trouble finding the film Little Monsters because I couldn't remember the name of it. I couldn't really remember who was in it. And I was looking for it for years, and then one day something just triggered in my head, and I found it. I was like, that is the film. That's the film I've been looking for all these years. Oh no, you know what? The only problem is now, I put that together so well, and it was such a tight fit, I can't get the backpack off. The good news is, however, I don't think I need to get the backpack off because I can just scrape off the mould lines on the backpack as well now as I could have had it not been attached. So I will do that. I was going to go back to a desk down view, wasn't I? When I was scraping off. Look at my fat belly there. Whoa. That's what Boris is talking about. Yeah, so I was going to go down to a desk down view so you could see me scraping off these mould lines. But no doubt the camera will struggle to focus on this. Let me think. No, it's alright. I'll leave it there. In the face mask situation as well, my friend has made a load of face masks out of unused lab coats. She works at a university down in the southeast, and she's made a load of face masks for me and all my mates out of unused lab coats. And she's sending me, because lab coats are white, so she's sending me a load of plain white ones. She's done some tie-dye ones for some of my other mates, but she's sending me a load of plain white ones to paint. And I'm thinking, what can I do painting wise on them? Should I do like an orc face on my face, and then I can do all my videos with one of those face masks on? Or should I try doing something more simple? I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. I got some De La Rowney fabric paint medium. There's the postman. The postman's here. Let's see if it's the face masks. I'll be back, as young Arnold says. Checkers is one thing that Thordelim says. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? What is this? Let's open it live and try not to cut it because it feels like it. Oh, I know what that is actually. That's a different face mask. Let's debut this face mask live on stream. This took a while to get here. This is one I ordered from a internet company. From an internet company called... Oh, that looks good, that. I'm excited, can you tell? Let's debut this face mask live and hope it fits me actually, because it looks a bit huge. That's massive. Oh my god. Oh no, it's alright. Not too bad. Look at that one. Aha! It's got my channel logo on it. What a time for the postman to arrive. You can't hear what I'm saying now, but there's a face mask for you. So I can't paint like this. This is the channel logo is a design that Richard from The Nerd Life did for me ages ago. Can you still hear me okay, by the way? I assume you can because I can hear myself. But yeah, look at that beauty there. What a time for him to arrive. That is absolutely stunning, that. Wraps was the company I got this one from. Yes, you are pronouncing the name correctly. Excellent stuff. Yeah, so this is a design that Richard from The Nerd Life did for me ages ago, and it forms basically my channel logo, and this is Big Mac Danskull. This is me on the battlefield. So I'm making a model at the minute based off of this artwork. Converting it up. Bit muffled, but yeah, you can hear me. Excellent stuff. That just seems like it's going to be too big. It looks like a big, massive face mask. But yeah, so here's my second face mask now. And I've got some more on the way. But yeah, you can see my channel logo now, and that's pretty cool, if you ask me. I'm really happy with that. Might wear this one to the cinema tomorrow, and then sneak a few bits of chocolate behind it. Ooh, yes. I am thoroughly pleased with this. I forgot I'd ordered this one actually, which is surprising because it was on the more expensive side. I was going to do one with my face on it, and so like my beard, and then just have it there, so it just looks like I've got my beard still. But I thought no, I'll just order one with my channel logo on it. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that, with how well that print has come out on there. But yeah, I got it from wraps.com, I think it is. It did say 4 to 5 working days delivery, and it's taken about 7 working days, so liars. However, yeah, print wise and everything, really pleased. Let's just put that behind me. I don't want to be off screen too much. I think I need another drink. Yeah, so pleased with that face mask, and going on about what else I can paint on my face mask. I thought, when I was out shopping before, I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if Games Workshop did them, and they did them as like rebreathers? I don't mean like big bulky rebreathers, I mean just a cloth face mask, face covering, but with a painted on rebreather, or with the bottom part of a Reaver helm, or something along those lines. You know, I think it'd be a good little way for Games Workshop at the minute to make money. What's that? Is it chocolate? It's brown. It doesn't taste like it's come out of my bottom, so I think it was chocolate. Do you ever do that? Just taste something, like you've got something on your arm, it's like, and you just lick it, and it's like, it could be anything that you've just randomly got on your arm. But yes, this stream got weird, didn't it? Yeah, so really happy with that face mask. And with regards to painting my own face mask with, I'm hoping it says the De La Rowney fabric medium. It says you just mix it with acrylic paint, and then it'll go onto fabric, and it'll last 20 washes. So I'm hoping it'll I'm hoping it'll be as simple as that, and I'm hoping I can use it with my airbrush and stuff as well. I imagine I will be able to, but I'm hoping it doesn't like make it too thick or anything like that. Oh, I thought we got a new chat then, but we didn't. We've got 4 viewers now. I've clearly bored a few people to death, which isn't a major issue. Oh my giddy aunt. Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't put that piece on now, that backpack piece. It's okay, but it does make it a little bit harder to clean up the mould lines. Oh, itchy head, itchy head. What is... was it you, Thorlin, that was saying... No, it wasn't you, was it? That was saying you were doing an AdMech force. That was Mr. Hench. What's his name? Oh my god! Oh my god! What's his name? Alpha Hench. I think that was saying he was doing an AdMech force. Yeah, and I've thought about doing a Dark Mechanicum or Dark Mechanicus force in the past, and I've got models in preparation to start it, but I've not got around to doing it yet. Like many of my projects, this one hasn't come to fruition just yet. But there's plenty of time for projects down the line. The channel's not going to disappear. AdMech wasn't you, no, I didn't think it was, yeah. Pretty sure it was Alpha Hench that had said that earlier. Yes. Oh, I need to clip my neck. It's interesting for once that I'm actually doing a bit of hobby on one of these streams, because normally I'm going to go back down to the desk down view for you. Normally there's a bit that I often miss on bases and on models. I forget to scrape off this bit of sort of where the mould is injected on the bases. So I often come to paint the rim, and then it's like, oh, I've got to do a bit of scraping before I finish painting the rim. Yeah, normally what I do is just get distracted by the chat and don't actually do much hobby. Here's one of the Eradicators finished. I can pop this one on here, I guess, can't I, the gun, so I make sure I don't lose that gun. Yeah, one thing to note about Star Trek, on sort of not second viewing but like third viewing, more recent viewing, is Deep Space Nine is actually really funny at times. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate Deep Space Nine quite as much as the likes of Next Generation and Voyager. I think it's because, in part, I don't like some of the characters in Deep Space Nine. I don't particularly like Cisco. I think he's too emotional, and he gets angry at what seems like very little things to me and stuff like that. He reacts emotionally far too quickly when compared to other captains like Picard. And like Janeway, I'd say as well. Janeway is quite calm and collected. But also, Deep Space Nine seemed a bit backwards. Seemed like a step backwards. It's far more about spirituality and stuff like that. Spirituality and a lot more like what else is out there, not in terms of in the universe, but in terms of like is there anything greater than us out there, as in gods and stuff like that. There's too much of that for me. It's like science fantasy rather than science fiction at times. Yeah, so that's, I think, part of the things that put me off Deep Space Nine when I was younger. However, going back and looking at it now, there's a lot of comedy in DS9, and I've always seen comedy with certain characters like Quark, and but there's comedy that I didn't always notice the first time round. Little remarks that people use towards one another and stuff. In particular, Jadzia Dax is a very funny character. But Odo and Quark, where I saw Odo was sort of stuffy before, there's more warmth, and also everything he says isn't necessarily said like the relationship that Odo and Quark have. It's far more complex than it first appears. When I was younger and didn't necessarily understand the complexities of relationships quite so much, and the idea of I watched a video, the War Bosses of the Apocalypse video about, what are they called? Oh, I forgot what they're called. I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and find out now. Subscriptions, Grot whatevers. Let's go to screen share. Grot Git Grods, something like that. Scroll down. Where are we? Come on, War Bosses. Scumgrods, there we go, Scumgrods. Yeah, so I watched their video about Scumgrods recently. And a Scumgrod in Orc culture is someone that you are you're fond of, but you hate them as well. They're your enemy, but they're your best enemy. So without them, it's like the relationship Batman and Joker have. Without one, you wouldn't have the other kind of thing, or the other wouldn't be the same. They thrive off of each other, and I think that's the kind of relationship in some ways that Quark and Odo have in Deep Space Nine. They respect each other, they like each other to a certain extent, and they care about each other, they're fond of each other, despite the fact that they're often adversaries. In the storyline, like Odo's trying to smuggle some weapons that he shouldn't be smuggling or something like that, and Quark is vice versa. So Quark is trying to smuggle weapons, and Odo's trying to stop him. So essentially, they're enemies in that episode, but they still have a fondness for each other, and without one pushing back at the other, challenging the other, the show wouldn't be as interesting without relationships like that, and the characters realise that as well, which is part of what's interesting to it about it to me rather. This guy, do I want him looking that way or the other way? I think it's best if he looks the other way. I think he is actually set up to look the other way. This has come apart in a really interesting way. I didn't expect it to come apart like that, to be honest. Let's pull that one off. And then we can wiggle this one off. Oh, I need to sneeze, I think. Should I mute my mic? Will I get to it in time? Maybe I don't need to sneeze. Oh, it's gone now. I usually cut a sliver from the pin so it's a bit smaller, makes it easier to remove for painting. Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to show before how quickly it goes together. I could probably pull it apart, but the back pin is like two separate parts of a pin, the pin that connects this backpack on. So one's on the left hand side of the torso, one's on the right hand side of the torso, and it goes together and it's proper tight in that backpack fitting. Yeah, so that's I didn't do it before because I was sort of rushing to show how quickly you could put them together, was my point. Right, let's slot that back in there. Very nice. There we go. So that just slotted on perfectly there. I don't even know. Yeah, I think I'll use a bit of glue in this one because otherwise I'll just wipe a bit of glue down these sections here. I do have my glue to hand somewhere, or I thought I did. Maybe I don't. Maybe I didn't bring my glue in. I feel like I didn't bring my glue in. That was a crash, wasn't it? Let's not worry about that for the time being. Let's clear up some of the rubbish off my desk and go and grab some glue. I'll be back shortly. Just realised as well I didn't close this glue properly when I was using it earlier, so it could have all evaporated, but thankfully it seems like it's all there. The lid was on, it just wasn't quite closed properly. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get tangled up in the wires under the desk now. Pop a bit of glue in here just to make these sit together that little bit better. And then on the other side as well. Yeah, it's looking nice. These eradicators go together very easily. They seem a bit complex at first compared to the assault intercessors. One thing that's good about the assault intercessors is the fact that the arms don't have to interact with each other. What I mean by that is they've got normally a chainsword in one arm and a pistol in the other arm, so the arms don't have to meet in... Oh, come up to me now, so I'll show you what I mean. So let's say they've got a pistol in one arm and a chainsword. Here's my chainsword in the other arm. So pistol, chainsword. The arms don't have to interact with each other, whereas when you've got a rifle, the arms have to interact with each other with the rifle as the bridge. So like the intercessors from the Dark Imperium sets, they have to be slightly more complex in the way they go together, potentially, because you might have an arm that's loose and an arm that's holding the rifle, and that arm has to connect with that gun at some point. Whereas the new ones, the new easy to build ones, the assault ones, don't have to connect. So it's easier for GW to design that without having to worry about the connection point. Tabletop Man saying, loves that Tamiya thing glue, been using it for a while now and I've hardly made a dent in the quantity. It is amazing how I left it open and I thought it might have all evaporated away, but it doesn't seem to have evaporated away, and it seems like pretty much as as much in there as when I first bought the product. So it is one of those things. It's like a magical mystery, isn't it? Didn't see a 30-second delay on my video. Question seems odd now. 30-second delay, that is a heck of a delay, isn't it? Tell you what, take that off and let's see if we need to do any clean up there because of the glue. No, I think we're alright. Watched a decent film last night, and it's been on my list on Netflix for ages. Captain Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen, and he's a dad of these in this family that him and his wife have raised the kids in the wild kind of thing, in a remote part of America, and they raise them, they homeschool them, and they get a physical education as well as a practical education. So they're taught hunting, they're taught rock climbing, they read a heck of a lot. It was a really, really enjoyable film to watch, and I'm glad I added it to my list ages ago, because I've not watched anything like that in a while. I think it just kind of got me back in the mood to see new films, and going to the cinema tomorrow for the first time in ages. It's got me quite hyped up, and I'm hoping I enjoy the whatever films I'm seeing tomorrow. I can't remember what films I'm seeing tomorrow. I did say Proxima earlier, but I can't remember what the other film is now. My internet cuts out a lot, so it pauses live video and doesn't automatically catch up. That is bad times. We don't need that, do we? The Pale Orc chat, how you doing, bud? Welcome. It's 2 o'clock here, so what time is it there for you? It's not getting up time, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe you like to get up early. Right, so I've got 2 Eradicators built. I didn't just put glue on one of these guns, did I? I don't think I did, because I want to be able to get to the chest pieces behind the guns. There's a big mess behind me here. Here we go. I could have shown you what I meant using the actual models before. On my 5th company. Oh, that's interesting. I thought I'd done them in a different colour. Very nice. Right, on my 5th company, Imperial Fists, that I've painted so far, I've done a black chest piece on this one, not this one. This one, I've done a black chest piece there, and I've done I tried to make it like silvery sort of chest piece, but just using contrast paints on the aggressor here. What I'm thinking is, though, I'm thinking of going back in and making them all red chest pieces, because that's typically what you see on Imperial Fist models, is a red chest piece, whatever the shoulder trim colour is. So let's compare these Eradicators to these aggressors. Now the aggressors are a lot bulkier, aren't they? But they're designed for close combat fighting. But they are both in Gravis armour with a huge chunky backpack. So they're not quite as big as the aggressors, these Eradicators, but they've got that Gravis armour. You can see it's Gravis armour, just they're not quite as chunky. So one thing I need to do, I don't know where I've put the not the Legion symbols, the chapter symbols for my Imperial Fists that I got from Pop Goes a Monkey, so I'll have to find them before I undercoat these new Marines that I've got and add them to my force. I do need another piece, a 1507. 1507 for Thordelin there. So you're an hour ahead, and the Pale Orc, it's 11:07 PM. So it's like bedtime almost, isn't it? Well, it'd be bedtime, it'd be past my bedtime that anyway. But I get up early a lot of the time for work, so I don't like to stay up too late even when I'm not in work, like at the minute. 62. Do I want 62? Yeah. I can hear what sounds like a Formula 1 race at the minute, but a lot quieter. But I think what it is, someone's doing some work down the road. I think it's just a grinder or something, grinding up some bricks. An angle grinder. Hi dude, looking smooth. Thank you very much. I've just lost a piece. Let's not panic. I got distracted by a compliment and completely lost a piece there. Is that chocolate? I don't know. I was eating a chocolate bar earlier, so if I occasionally stop and say, is that chocolate? It's because I think I've found a secret piece of chocolate that tried to escape my attention. There it is. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. I nearly lost this piece. You're like, what's that piece? What's that piece? Well, it's just one of the rocks that goes on the base of one of the eradicators. Hello, where is Big Mac Danskull? Who are you? Okay, no. I am Little Mac Danskull. Big Mac Danskull's little helper. And I like to turn up every now and again and just surprise people with my amazing resemblance to Big Mac Danskull when you think, oh, like that, look at that. I look just like him. It's amazing. Got 8 viewers now, excellent stuff. I sometimes wonder if I should, but it's just going to add another layer of complication, isn't it? But I sometimes wonder if I should have someone else on these chats with me. Just to help throw topics at me to talk about and to have a bit of back and forth rather than just me. I think when you're doing a live stream as a single YouTube person, it's sometimes hard to get any hobby done and keep track of the chat and stuff like that. So I do wonder sometimes if I should have someone on here with me. I don't mind doing it by myself. I'm quite a solitary person naturally. You'd think, well, why are you doing a live stream at all then, and interacting with us lot in the chat? Well, I don't know. Just to put something on my channel, I suppose, would be the answer. I need a 0.8. So these melter guns on the eradicators, I'm just going to drill the barrel out on this one now. What I did before, I should have really kept track of what I was doing before. What I did before was a 0.8 to start, to drill out the barrel. Oh, I've gone slightly off centre there, not to worry. Yeah, I did a 0.8 before, which is what I used for my bolter barrels, and then I made it bigger with a bigger size. Bigger size. Oh no, actually that's quite central. Quite pleased with that. You probably can't see it. Not to worry. Not to worry, guys. I'll show you. I'll find a way to show you. Look at that there. It's quite central. Hey, magical. So I did that one first, and then I got a bigger drill bit. I think if you planned to have a guest on for a portion of the stream, it wouldn't hurt, but still here watching regardless. So. Excellent stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. When someone's doing a stream like this, I think some people, I think it was a 1.5 after that, my drill bit size, but I can't remember for sure. So let's just find out, shall we? Yeah, I think when you've got 2 people on a stream, like Frost and Fist, for example, prime example, sometimes they just bounce off of each other. Like Freak's the tech guy and Mythos is the hype man. Not so much the hype man, but you know, he gets everybody excited. His enthusiasm is undoubtable. Whether it's enthusiasm about slagging off another army, like ripping into Tau and Tau players and people he sees as cheesy players and stuff like that, or whether it's his enthusiasm about a particular model, a particular paint job they've seen, and they're showcasing it on their weekly art section. I can't remember what they call that section. But yeah, their weekly art section where they cover images they've seen on Instagram or someone shared with them from Instagram. Yeah, it's interesting because Freak does all the tech stuff, but he adds his thoughts as well. Mythos kind of keeps the stream on track, keeps it going, and then they go off on tangents every now and again. But I feel like it's a tighter ship than just me streaming now. Because me streaming now, when I go off on a tangent, I've got no one to rein me in and bring it back on track. Whereas those guys, if one of them thinks we need to get back on track here, there's two of them to think that, so one of them is more likely to think we need to get back on track here and get onto the next segment of the show or whatever. But it does completely go off the rails sometimes as well. So I think it's they encourage each other because they've got that shared enthusiasm for certain things and ripping into certain things and stuff like that. So I think for me, I may benefit from having someone on stream with me, but I think it'd be a hassle for me as well. Is what I'm getting at. Infectious enthusiasm, from what I recall. Yeah, exactly. Freaking Mythos. The Mythos's enthusiasm for things, especially, is infectious, and it gets you. I think one of the reasons I enjoy their stream on a Friday so much, and I enjoy being on. I've had the pleasure of being on their UK friendly stream twice now. I was the very first guest, so I feel very important. I think I'll get a hat-trick ball next time I go on as well, although if I said that to them, they'd be like, what's a hat-trick ball? It's the infectious enthusiasm from Mythos is undoubtable, and being on their channel or just watching their weekly videos, it's fun to do, especially when you're doing hobby as well. And I feel like my enthusiasm can be remotely, nearly, close to Mythos's at times, but I have to be really excited about something. And it's it's probably never like Mythos's, is it really? Unless I'm being encouraged by someone. But again, that shows potentially a need for me to have someone else on stream with me. What I wouldn't want my channel to become would be somewhere negative, and that's one of the reasons I'm stopping the Mortal Realms coverage, is because I feel like I'm veering too close towards being negative week after week, whether I'm slagging off Stormcast lore or the Stormcast models, or so. I just don't like Stormcasts as it stands. I don't like Stormcasts. I think the lore is underdeveloped, but they're pushing models, new Stormcast models out left, right and centre in the same way that they're pushing Space Marine models out. Not at the minute in particular, but you get a lot more new Stormcast models than you do other types of models. So I don't want my channel to become a negative space where you just come and watch one of my videos expecting me to be negative about stuff. I've always tried to keep my channel a positive place, and there are things. I'll give you my thoughts on something like I was talking about the new Warhammer 40k starter sets that are coming out this week, and I feel like the prices are a little bit high, but I'll still buy one, so they can't be that high that it'll put me off. So I'll still share my thoughts, but I don't like it to be a repetitive negative space where you just come to my channel to see me slag off Games Workshop because they're not supporting orcs the way I want them to, or something like that. Or they're not, like I said about the decals in the new starter sets and in the Indomitus set, they're not, my chapter isn't supported by those decals, other than the tactical markings and stuff. Not that I use decals though, so it's not a major issue for me. Or they're not making models the way I want them to, like this fella here with the stupid hand. He's holding a hand and it's like a relic, but I don't get that, me. And I don't like his outfit in general. But yeah, I don't want my channel to become a negative channel. I don't want to become known as a negative YouTuber, doing a hobby that I seem not that enthusiastic about, because I am quite enthusiastic about this hobby, though probably not as enthusiastic as Mythos Kutranada. over on the channel Frost and Fist. Make sure you check them out and subscribe if you've not already done so. Like I said, I've been a guest on their UK friendly live stream twice, so you can see my face on there occasionally from time to time, and hopefully more again in the future. I'm clipping bits off now at random thinking, I think this is the right bit I want. So I've stopped looking at the instructions. That's a refreshing stance to take. Thank you very much. I like to... Yeah, I've always wanted my channel to be a positive space, really. So, it's what I like to do, especially since... I mentioned it years ago, and I've not mentioned it recently. Sean from Blue Table Painting, he had an effect on my outlook on life and stuff a few years ago. He did a few videos about choosing to be happy and choosing... You can choose what you surround yourself with. You can choose to surround yourself with happiness and with whatever. You can control your outlook on life. You can't control your life, but you can control your outlook on life. And I think my stance is, if I create a happy, positive space, then on my YouTube channel, then I feel like the type of people of the same mindset as me will be drawn to the channel then. Just noticing now my beard, when it's long, it's got a lot of white in it, but now it really looks like, it almost looks like with the way the light's hitting and stuff, I've got dark to here and then a bit of dark there, but it really looks like, almost like I'm just going to grow some mutton chops and just across there. And I've had them before, but they didn't last long. Well, I think you and your channel are awesome. Just informally BMP. I wondered who that was. I was like, the miniature painter. Why do I know the miniature painter? But yeah, Basic Miniature Painting was your former channel. Thank you very much for that. It's really nice to hear you think so. What other bits do I want here? I want that head, and I want that backpack. Oh. So. Yeah. And I want that gun, I guess, as well. So this guy, I'm guessing, is the sergeant, because he's got no helmet. Has he got a helmet anywhere on his person? He's not, has he? It'd be nice if they gave you a spare helmet so you could just model it hanging off his belt like some of the other sergeants have. Like the assault sergeant. Doesn't seem that it's got one on the sprue though. I will have a more thorough look shortly, and maybe look at the instructions as well. That could help. Imagine that, looking at instructions. Who needs instructions? That's the I am the product of a misspent youth. Years of ignoring Kinder Egg instructions. Just assembling the things how I want. So who needs instructions? I can build IKEA furniture without instructions. Look at that thing. I didn't use instructions for that. What sort of maniac would use instructions? Yeah, it doesn't seem that there's a spare helmet on there. But I will consult the instructions now to double check if there's a spare helmet anywhere, so I can place it on this guy's head. Oh, one thing about dropping my box earlier was all the bases have gone everywhere. So I will quickly tidy up down here. What's that? Spare sprue. And try and gather a base. At least one base. Like that. I've still got 6 40mm bases. And what looks like, there we go, 5 32mm bases. So the 5 32mm bases, the 5 32mm bases are for the Assault Marines, and then there's 6 40mm bases, which, have I got 6 more models left to build? I've got the Captain, 3 Blade Guard, the guy with the banner, yes I have, and the Judicia. Afternoon Dan, wasn't sure you were there for a second. Yes, I am here. I was hiding beneath the camera, slightly out of shot. And I am out of water as well, so I'll just reach into my fridge and grab some more water. You dick ya! Ah, handy place to have a fridge. I assure you it is water, though it is in a rum bottle. Messy, messy room this is. Right, let's get down to business. Oh yeah, I wanted to consult the instructions, didn't I, first of all? To make sure, I've got the instructions on my phone, as I mentioned earlier. I had to get them off the internet because I bought this set off eBay. Just to make sure there is no spare helmet for this guy. Because I wouldn't mind just placing a helmet on his belt, but there is no spare helmet by the looks of it. It's a little bit of a beggar, innit? Not the end of the world there. So I've got 2 torso pieces, a backpack piece, front torso piece, helmet. No, that's not a helmet, that's an arm. Where's his head rather than helmet? Front torso piece, like I said, and arm and gun. Yep, so I've got all the pieces I need apart from the piece that goes onto the base. Dangerous place to have a fridge. Exactly, I could just be snacking away as we speak. Handy thing is, when we're doing, me and my friends are doing a quiz every week on House Party, I've got the fridge right there, so I've got a cold drink there whenever I need a new beverage. Normally it's a tin of beer, and so just grab a beer out there, crack it open, pour it into my glass, neck it down in one. Not quite. Especially not the stuff I've been drinking recently. I keep getting like milk stouts, coffee stouts and stuff like that, and they're like high percentage. It's like drinking a glass of wine, but like if I was to neck that, I'd be gone. I've been feeling it. Not in the morning, but drinking, and just like 10 minutes later after finishing the drink, I've just been like, whoa. I have completely lost my tolerance to alcohol. I kind of stopped drinking on a regular basis years ago now, and then for a certain period after not drinking on a regular basis, whenever I'd go out, I'd get really drunk, because I'd drink at the speed that I used to drink at when I was younger, but not so much these days because I tend to pace myself a little bit better now. But what I used to do, did you see naked? Did I say naked or naked? I said naked, as in see it off, as in get rid of that drink, sir. Oosh. So yeah, the drinking situation, I've managed to. I used to try and keep pace with my mates that would still be out drinking every week, every other week, whatever, or a few times a week, some of them. But now what I tend to do is drink at my own pace. Thankfully, I've learned to drink at my own pace finally. And my dad drinks a lot quicker than I do as well. My dad's 62 this year, and he's always drank quickly. Like if we're watching football in the pub or something, he'll go through his pint a lot quicker than I do. Like I'm happy to just sit there and let the pint gradually get a bit warmer. But like I drink a lot slower than I used to now. I've never been a massive lager drinker or anything like that. I drank lager when I was young, and I still do now and again. Like I like a pint of lager now and again, but just the volume of lager that you have to consume in the UK, like you have a pint of lager, in the space of time my dad does it, I've never been able to drink. I mean, I can do, but I'd go to the toilet so much it's ridiculous. I've always been more of a spirit drinker than a lager drinker, but I'm getting more into, especially in recent years when I started drinking coffee and stuff as well, more into dark beers and stouts and stuff like that. So yes, there we go. That's my take on the current beer situation for Big Mac Dan Skull. No fungus brew yet for me though. So if anyone knows where I can get some fungus brew, please let me know, and I will see if I can source some. Let's go back to the desk down cam again, shall we? So you can see what I'm scraping here. Let's put this fella on. No, that's not. He'll be in the way there. I could put him there, I guess. Hey, look at him there. Oh, look at him. He's pointing at the other guys that are nearly finished. Hey, come here. Eradicator boys. Eradicators. Yeah, so you can look at them now, whilst I scrape away right in front of camera for you. I don't... Here's the thing, right? This piece here, you can barely see it because it's all blurry, but basically this piece is never going to be seen, but I still like to scrape off the bit of dirtiness that's there from where you've clipped it off the sprue. It's the piece that holds the head on the torso, but for some reason I still like to scrape that bit away and make it a little bit smoother. I really like this head. It's a cool head. Super unique. Not too long ago I was watching a lot of crazy Russian hacker videos, but this head, I really like this head. Super unique. The amount of pipes coming off that rebreather. Fantastic. Yeah, crazy Russian hacker isn't actually a hacker. He's he doesn't do a hacker either. He does videos on super unique products like handy gadgets, kitchen gadgets and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure why it's called Crazy Russian Hacker. But I just found some of his videos on Facebook just prior to lockdown and really got into watching a load of his videos on like ice cube trays and fruit corers and fruit peelers and stuff like that. Just one of those rabbit holes you can go down on the internet these days, I guess. Let's see, have I done this one more or less? Yeah, I've scraped away at this one already. Just try and scrape a few more areas on it though. What of anybody watching, what sort of videos do you what do you find when you go down rabbit holes? Is there any particular Facebook videos or YouTube videos that you have found that you really enjoy watching or you're obsessed with? Like for a lot of people, I imagine you can go into painting videos and stuff like that, especially when you're watching a lot of painting videos on YouTube anyway, painting videos if you're into the hobby in particular. So it's quite an easy leap to get into like canvas painting videos and stuff like that, I guess. You'd think it is anyway. I only watch one, what I'd call an art channel, and that's Jazza, which is an Australian YouTuber. Does it full time, I think. Well, yeah, he does do it full time, doesn't he? I think his house is funded by his channel, basically. And we'd all love to be at that stage at some point or another. But it's unobtainable or nigh unobtainable for many of us. Has anybody watched a new series of The Umbrella Academy? That's something I'm going to get round to watching eventually. I just for some reason I've not gotten around to starting it. I think it became available last Friday. Yeah, it was last Friday or last Saturday. Can't remember. But my friend on the last quiz that we did, my friend said the first episode was amazing. So I loved the first season of it. So I imagine in the next few days I'll probably start on the next season of it. Good to see these Eradicators around with a pistol. These pistols are a lot smaller than some of the pistols on the Assault Marines and stuff, or the holsters anyway. Afternoon, Elsa Nation, welcome. Good to have you in the chat. Yeah, so these pistols on the Eradicators are more like the pistols you see on the old Marines in terms of holster size, whereas on the majority of the new models, the holster size is actually massive, and it's the correct size for the holster, correct size for the size of the pistol when you see it in the Marine's hand. These heavy bolt pistols or the Condemner bolt pistols that you see on these new Primaris miniatures. But the problem I have with that is, in fact, I'll go and grab one and then I'll discuss the problem with you. I'll be back shortly. Please feel free to look around at anything that catches your eye in shot there. I'm back! So, these new Marines have these new pistols. What is that? Oh, I've got chocolate on me. Oh no, my grey jeans have got chocolate on. I just noticed it on camera there. I hope it's chocolate anyway. Let's find out. Yep, chocolate. Gonna have to wash these jeans now, that's devastating. And I've dropped the chocolate. Oh, that's even more devastating. What a waste of chocolate. Never mind. So these new Marines with the new holsters and pistols and stuff. In fact, this dude, right, he's got his gun drawn and he's not got a holster. So where does he put his gun when it's not drawn? The chaplain. I love this new chaplain model, I've got to say. Really, really like that new chaplain model. This guy, though, does have a holster and a gun drawn. So this holster comes down fully past his knee. So when he's running along, that's just bouncing off his knees and dunk, 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 dunk. You could never sneakily get anywhere. Not that he needs to, he's a Space Marine. Doesn't need to sneak anywhere. But yeah, these new holster sizes, that's just going to be clipping off his heel as he's running along there. Each time he moves, that heel's just going to come up and knock that holster. That'd be so annoying. But these are the right size holsters for these guns. Because if they were smaller, again, that one's going to be clipping his heel all the time. If they were smaller, they'd never fit that gun in. On previous miniatures, I don't know. Yeah, this guy's got a holstered gun here. That gun there is supposed to be the same gun as the one these guys are carrying. It's supposed to be a heavy bolt pistol, but you compare the size of the holster to the gun there, and they're nothing alike in size. So the holsters are much more appropriate size-wise now compared to the previous set of Primaris miniatures, easy to build ones in particular. But they just they don't quite work, do they? Size-wise. And when you look at this one as well, this is a holstered gun, and compare it, it's supposed to be the same gun again as this gun. Compare them two, and nothing alike in size. So it's interesting that some of the miniatures have the right size holsters for the guns, but that's supposed to be, it's a little difficult to see because it's not. Let's see if we can get it to just focus on these. Come on, you little beggar. There we go. Oh, we nearly had it. Nearly had it. Anyway, you know what? It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying they're not the same size. They're not being consistent in the sizing of the holsters and the guns. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to see it. You can just believe it. Got 5 viewers currently, so thank you very much all for joining me. If you saw any of my earlier stream, what time is it now? It's nearly 3 o'clock. I might end this stream at 3 o'clock or something. Let's see if I can get this guy built by 3 o'clock, and if I can, I'll end the stream. If I can't, I'll go on forever. I'll never end this stream, and I'll just keep my computer running, and that's not going to happen, is it? I'll forget to pay my electricity bill, and then it'll just shut down the whole stream, and it'll be a major disaster. But yeah, if I can get this guy built by 3 o'clock, I will end the stream by 3 o'clock. And I have a feeling I can get this guy built by 3 o'clock. I built 2 of these guys already, so it seems doable to me. You're supposed to grab these 2 bits there, and then you're supposed to put the backpack bit on. Did I? Yes, I did scrape the backpack already, although the 2 big bits on the backpack there aren't quite scraped. So let's just clean them globes off, shall we? Yeah, it's not the end of the world, the inconsistencies in the sizing of the heavy bolt pistol, because at least some of them are the right size in terms of holster size now for the guns that they've got drawn. Another thing to note, of course, on previous easy to build miniatures and stuff, there's not many grenades on them, or any grenades on them as far as you can see, but it's again not the end of the world. We can just imagine they've got them things on there. The game itself has a lot of abstract concepts involved, so we don't need to see every little bit of detail that is on the data sheet on the model itself. In my opinion, we don't anyway. If you're talking about like the abstract nature of the game and rules and stuff like that that you take into account, the idea of cover. If I was to roll a cover save in real life, if I was to have armor on and then get behind cover, I theoretically should get 2 saves, because the cover gives you a save and the armor gives you a save. So it shouldn't be modifying your armor save really in the game, should it? It should be, but it'd be too clunky. So I understand why they just do it as modifying the armor save. It'd be too clunky to do 2 saves. So that again relates to the abstract nature of the game, and when you measure in, you measure to certain parts of the model, or you measure to the base or whatever and stuff like that, rather than, and you can't see a whole unit, but you can see one model from the unit, so you can aim at that entire unit and wound that entire unit. I'm just waffling on now. I feel like I'm losing steam, and this is where a stream partner would come in handy. I'm not auditioning people, by the way. I'm not trying to give anybody any hints there that I want a stream partner, but I think times like this when I'd benefit from a stream partner, especially when I was struggling with those streams earlier, just having someone around to cheer me on and say, you know what, you can do it, just sort out the stream, come back on. And in a way, Kev did that for me. Kev from the Hobby Corner did that for me in a way, because is that even the right shoulder pad? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because he just sent me that link to that video, and I watched that video and then sorted it out once I'd watched the video. And the stream now is near perfect, or it is perfect. I've not dropped any frames on this 3rd time of streaming, and effectively I've been streaming for 4 hours almost. Oh no, 3 hours it would have been, wouldn't it? Because one was like half an hour long, one was probably only 10 minutes long. But effectively altogether I'll have been streaming for almost 3 hours. Which way is his head supposed to be facing? They're all supposed to be facing left. Oh, not that far left. He's looking backwards. Oh my god, he's looking so far backwards, it's ridiculous. Spin his head round. Come on. Get round, you little devil. Come on now. Stop messing about. There we go. Lovely. Oh no. I should just glue that in place, really, shouldn't I? And then it'd stop moving around. There we go. Oh, you little jumped up bugger. I am having a nightmare here. Why is it turning every time I go to push this torso piece on? Oh, it's killing me off. Oh my god. There we go. He's done it. Magical. Just grab a little bit of this. A little bit of the old Tamiya clear cement, whatever you call it. What is it called? Tamiya extra thin cement, not clear cement. Run that along the seams. It is such a useful little way of gluing your miniatures, this, rather than using the Citadel glue or anything similar with a dropper spout. For me it is anyway. It seems like a much better way of doing it. Oh, you know what? I've just wiped that onto my thumb and now I need to use my thumb to press it down. It's not a good idea. Okie dokie, guys. Hey. That is cleaned. Yeah. See if there's anything interesting popping up on the website, shall we? I don't think there will be. I think it's normally 5 o'clock the Warhammer community site gets updated, isn't it? But let's do a quick screen share and let's see. So I've already been looking at these new starter sets. My god, I should just change my scroll speed on that, shouldn't I? Anything interesting that I've missed? Let's take a look at these Blood Bowl miniatures, I think. Oh, look at Horus there. The Lion, Ever Chosen, next week, Character Week, Black Library, Midnight Clad. I've not watched any of them sit back and learn the basics of the new edition videos. Might watch some of them when I get a chance. Not on this. Come on now, let me see the Blood Bowl new season starts here video. Here we go. 3 times I've clicked on it. Again, a new BB seems too soon. A new Blood Bowl seems too soon. It's been out for a few years now though, hasn't it? Didn't it come out, was it before 8th edition? I'm not sure. It seemed like around about the same time as 8th edition it launched for me, but I might be wrong there. The 2nd season edition. I'm going to be interested to see what Orc Miniatures you get in this set. That's for sure. I'm not a fan of Blood Bowl myself, but these miniatures look fantastic. These guys look like there's a bit of conversion potential in there. They remind me of Peachy's Dragoons, the Imperial Guard regiment that Chris Peaches made. I think it's just the Empire look of them, isn't it? So they've got these puffy pants and this golden armour, and then these feathers coming off the helms. And then there's just some big fat boys in there as well. Overfed, stout individuals, shall we say. Yeah, I'm looking at the same miniatures over and over again. I've got a female miniature there as well. Oh my god! Yeah, she's pretty cool. She's got a mug on her side there, or it's probably a horn actually, isn't it? Yeah, so some nice miniatures in there. And then there's this dude. Is he like a captain or something? I'm not sure. I'm not going to read into it too much. But yeah, just a quick little breather there for you. And some nice looking miniatures. But like I said earlier, the Blood Bowls just never called out to me. The last release was 2016. Wow. Yeah, so it was a while ago, and about the launch of 8th edition, the same time, more or less, wasn't it, I think, then? Right, what we're doing here. I was supposed to be coming back to this angle, so you could see what I was working on still. I just wanted to double check on the site, see if there was anything that had updated. But yeah, like I said, normally they update the Warhammer community site around 5 o'clock GMT. So we've got 3 hours or 2 hours before that. Or GMT, or British summertime rather, UK time basically. Ooh. Has anybody started a new army with the Indomitus set? Or are people just adding to their existing forces? One thing I was tempted to do was start a Flesh Terror force with the Indomitus set. But I think I'll just add to my Imperial Fists instead. Or when I say with the Indomitus set, I mean with the Space Marine half of it, of course, because I bought it off eBay, these miniatures. I was tempted, like I said earlier, to do a bit of painting of Ghazghkull. I think I said on Spud stream yesterday as well. I was going to try and get some paint on Ghazghkull, but I don't think I'll be doing that on this stream today. Like I said, I will probably be ending at 3 o'clock UK time. So in 10 minutes or so. But we'll see. I don't know why sometimes I just naturally pick up the knife, the box cutter, and just start scraping mould lines with that instead of with the actual mould line remover from GW. I think certain bits where there's a chunk of plastic you need to get off, it really helps, but I don't know. Like, it's just natural for me to pick it up sometimes. So 2 more hours of stream then, just adding to my Space Wolf army. Just waiting for the supplement to give them legal weaponry, excellent stuff. Yeah, so the new way they're doing the codexes, from what I understand, I've not actually looked into it properly myself, but it's going to be a single Space Marine codex for every faction. So every Space Marine faction. So in the same way in 8th edition they did supplements for certain factions like Imperial Fists, for Ultramarines, for Raven Guard and stuff. It seems like Space Wolves now and Blood Angels and Dark Angels, who previously had their own codex, will now just get a codex supplement. So units that were previously unavailable to the likes of Space Wolves, like Centurions, theoretically, could then be added into a Space Wolf list. But there might be something in the codex supplement that says they can't take them still. I think a Centurion is an interesting unit to add into a Space Wolf list personally, like a big chunky Centurion. Yeah, interesting. So it's going to be interesting to see how Space Wolf players, Blood Angel players, Dark Angel players all adapt to that new system. It's what happened years ago, isn't it, I think, with the Angels of Death Codex that had, well, technically, that was nothing like that, really, to be fair. The Angels of Death Codex, I think, had rules information for Blood Angels and Dark Angels in it, didn't it? I've got the song Angels of Death in my head now. I think it's called Angels of Death. It goes, Angels of Death! Angels of Death! Something like that. Should I just drill straight ahead with this? I think I should. Oh, that's not bad. It's a bit off centre, I think. But then let's change the pin. Yeah, so of the Indomitus set, which I picked up yesterday from a local Sainsbury's / Argos. Yeah, of the set, I have built a squad of 5 Assault Marines. I've switched out one of the heads for the Lieutenant Calcius head from Conquest, the 5th issue of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazine. So I built a squad of Assault Marines. I built the Chaplain. I love that miniature. And I built the Lieutenant or Lieutenant, depending on how you like to pronounce that word. And now I've built the Eradicators as well. So it's just the bikes to go and 6 characters. No, 3 characters and the Blade Guard Veterans and another squad of Assault Marines. Assault Intercessors, that is. I don't know how to approach painting my Assault Intercessors. On my Reavers, one thing I did on my Reavers to try and make them feel a bit different from just my regular. I'm trying to see if I've got any to hand here, but I can't see any. But to try and make them feel a bit different from my regular. Is that a Reaver? No. Try and make them feel a bit different from my regular Marines. I painted the right shoulder pad, which isn't actually a shoulder pad. It's like the bit of armour under a shoulder pad. I painted them black to just try and make them seem a bit different from the regular Marines. Like, it's a black trim on the 5th Company. 5th Company Marines, which you can see on here and on here. But then the Reavers, I just painted the entire one of the end, like the under piece of armour on the shoulder pad. I just painted that black instead, and then trim on the other side. And I don't know whether to sort of mimic that in a way. So rather than just painting the right shoulder pad on my Assault Marines in black, I'll paint the whole shoulder pad black I know it's not Codex compliant. Oh, I'm getting tired for some reason. I know it's not like Codex compliant, but just to make them look a little bit different, I don't know. I probably won't. I'll probably just paint the trim, stick to painting the trim. One good thing about the Assault Marines is you can assemble them and paint them quite easily, because you can get to the chest piece and all the areas of the torso and everything relatively easily with these Assault Primaris Marines, rather than the ones that had guns held across their torsos in the Dark Imperium box. Yes, so that is pretty much all I'm going to do on this stream, I think, in terms of building. Should I try and squeeze one more little model out? I don't think so. The Judicia. I'm not sure. Oh, actually, you know what? He still needs a rock on his base, doesn't he? There's a rock there. 63 or 64. Let's go for 63. Or I could put a Necron head or a skull on it. I'll put a skull on his base, actually. Hopefully it won't lose this like I did the last one. Way. Yeah, let's put a skull on his base to mark him out as the unit leader. Is there any mould lines? There's one going across the skull there. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be finishing the Conquest tutorial missions that I was doing. Not sure whether to finish them or not, because I'm not sure if it's going to be relevant to 9th edition, because the rules have changed in certain ways and stuff, so I don't know whether to bother finishing that. I did about 16 of them, I think. 16 videos of Conquest tutorial missions. I may end up going up to 20, because I think that's when the tutorial mission ended, and then it just became 8th edition game. So I may go up to 20 and then just stop there, something like that. You'll have to wait and see, I guess. If I do, I'll try and get a video up this Sunday if I do intend to continue them, but still a bit undecided at the minute whether I want to continue them or not. There we go. He was stuck to his base there. I've just remembered what I said earlier about always forgetting to shave that bit of base off on the trim of the base. I immediately, on the next base I picked up and mounted a miniature to, immediately forgot to shave that bit of trim off. Angels of Death. Come on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to the cinema tomorrow. What am I seeing? I could check on my phone, actually, because I'm sure me and my sister discussed it. I'm seeing Proxima and something else. Proxima, fancy 2 films also. Onward. Onward is the Pixar film, I think, isn't it? Which I think some people have been really impressed by. I'm not, not too hyped about Pixar films myself. Not that I've got anything against them. Just certain ones like this one, I just didn't see any trailers for or anything, so I've not been looking forward to it particularly. But yeah, some people I think have said good things about the film Onward. So Onward and Proxima are the 2 films I'll be seeing tomorrow. I said on either this stream or one of the previous streams that I attempted to do that never really got up and running, I did say I recorded a coffee tasting video for my Patreon as well prior to going live. I may edit that and put it up, but it wasn't a very good tasting video, I feel like, because I feel like the tasting notes I gave were just a bit useless. Oh, it tastes a bit chocolatey, a bit caramelly. My tasting note videos seem to be a bit repetitive. But I wanted to do a little extra video for patrons that I've not been doing though. So the plan for the channel in the coming weeks, so you can just look at my desk for the time being with some of these new Marines on. Oh, no, you can't, because my camera wants to fall over. There we go. The plan for the channel in the not too distant future is to have... You know what? I don't want you looking there, I want you looking at my face. Plan for the channel in the not too distant future is to The Mortal Realms videos will come to an end this week in terms of coverage of the magazine. I may do a video summarising my experience with the magazine and stuff like that, and give you the quick summary of why I decided to stop it. Although I've mentioned that in other previous videos. But I'm planning on getting 2 videos up a week going forward, especially once these new starter sets come out for 40k. I hope to, in the same way that I did the Conquest tutorial missions, I hope to have tutorial missions for the, you know what, I could create my thumbnail, couldn't I? I hope to have a tutorial mission sort of videos for the new starter sets that we have seen from Games Workshop. So yeah, there's hopefully going to be 2 videos per week coming from the channel in the not too distant future, especially once I've done that final Mortal Realms video. Let's get these miniatures lined up and ready for a thumbnail shot. There we go. Well, I've taken a picture for my thumbnail. There's only 4 viewers watching. I've been streaming for just over 2 hours now, and it's 15:01 UK time. So I'm going to call it a day there, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to check out, there's no link in the description below to my Patreon, but go to patreon.com/BigMacDanskull if you want to help support the channel. And also, if you're looking for Mortal Realms coverage, don't forget to check out Spongehammer, Tabletop Donkeys, and the Hobby Corner. Kev does a lot of build videos and paint videos, and also playthrough videos for the missions in Mortal Realms. And Tabletop Donkeys do the battle report, so playthroughs again, and Sponge Murphy on Spongehammer does his weekly roundup of the content of the magazine in a very succinct way and precise way, and I'm amazed that he does it so quickly. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Check out those channels and check out the link to the Patreon